Welcome to Automation World's Technology Matters. In this episode, we'll look at how industrial networks are increasingly becoming the center of automation in a way that some say even surpasses the importance of controllers. We'll also look at how sustainability programs in manufacturing are impacting automation purchasing and use decisions. So, when it comes to the growing importance of industrial networks, there are many people in industry who suggest that as industry undergoes its digital transformation, networks seem to be taking the spotlight away from controllers in many automated processes. Now, sure, controllers still play a crucial role, but they're not as squarely positioned center stage as they once were. And the reason for this is the growing popularity of the distributed control premise promoted by Internet of Things and Industry 4.0 initiatives. Now, this distributed control premise essentially reflects the fact that more and more devices now have programmable microcontrollers built into them, and conventional controllers are increasingly being placed closer to the devices they control rather than in centralized cabinets. Like other devices on the network, these distributed controllers are reporting data over the network for aggregation, visualization, and analysis elsewhere. And the result is a new architecture, and it's one that flattens the classic Purdue model that segregated operations technology from information technology and strictly controlled the flow of data between them. Now, as Josh Eastburn of Opto22 said, instead of moving data in only one direction, meaning from the plant floor through middleware and into back office systems, this new model seeks to move data back and forth between all systems. And this view clearly puts the network at the center of this information flow. Now, of course, not everyone agrees that the network is becoming the, quote, center of automation, unquote. Some argue that it's more accurate to say that the new center is really the new generation of analytics fostered by IIoT and cloud services. Paul Brooks, manager of technology business development at Rockwell Automation, said that because the network doesn't actually do anything apart from moving information from producers of information to consumers of it, it's the controller that still remains the center of automation. But he also noted that automation and control technologies have evolved to promote distributed control and data reporting over networks. And he said that while the ability to control processes must remain the number one priority, the ability to deliver large amounts of secondary information about those processes are going to come a close second, overtaking things like ease of replacement and for some even price. So, for example, he said a servo drive may have 150 parameters that are used to directly control the motor, but it has 4,000 internal parameters that can be used for long-term monitoring and process optimization. So, regardless of where you find yourself in this discussion, it's clear that the technological evolution of modern industrial controllers and communications, they're really changing how we think of automation networks. So, to read more about this, visit the URL shown here. Now, near the end of 2020, we reran a research study that we first conducted in 2016, looking at sustainability programs across industry and their connection to automation technologies. Now, in the study we did in 2016, 59.3% of respondents answered that they do have an industrial program in effect at their company. In 2020, 58.8% also answered positively. So these responses are within the range of statistical error, meaning that the level of sustainability programs appears to have remained pretty much static since 2016. Now, though the level of sustainability programs has not seemed to really change much since 2016, some specific areas of focus have changed considerably, with a number of key areas of sustainability focus seeing decreases over the past few years. For example, in 2016, 46.7% of respondents cited a focus on overall energy efficiency. In 2020, energy efficiency was cited as a key focus by just 26.7% of respondents. And likewise, recycling and reuse of material was cited by 31% of respondents as being important in 2016, but in 2020, only 18% cited it as being key to their sustainability efforts. And Luke Durkin, EcoStructure Director at Schneider Electric, said that in some cases it's not just the cost factor that directs and or inhibits certain sustainability efforts, but also the complexity and operational alignment of the company or facility that's doing it. And this means the insights of a sustainability initiative have to be in the hands of those who can enact operational changes to drive efficiency. He said, adding that there are some capital items that will drive efficiency, but without the data to know what processes consume what materials, when it happens, and for what outcomes, how do you know where to really invest? So speaking to that question of where to invest, some of the biggest changes we did see in the survey results in 2020 came via the effects of corporate sustainability programs on specific automation purchases. For example, in 2016, 35% of respondents cited a focus on energy-efficient motors, but in 2020, 69% of respondents noted it. And variable frequency drives have also seen an uptick in interest, rising from 32% in 2016 to 60% in 2020. Another big area of increase occurred around the use of energy management software. Now, in 2016, just 20% of respondents cited that they use this, but in 2020, that number rose to 41%. And Vikram Mankar, Principal Digital Product Manager at G Digital, said that industrial companies have matured in their understanding of production sustainability in these last few years. He said they've realized there are savings that can be achieved by making operational processes overall more efficient. And more specifically, he said, plant personnel who decide on energy management software implementations are usually facilities teams who often aren't directly connected to production. And since the size of the production facility determines its need for sophisticated energy management systems, this means that investments in software and hardware like submeters and flow valves might be based on the budgets for the facility management department and the size of the facilities they manage, rather than on the directives of the operators who directly interact with these meters and valves. So this kind of understanding about sustainability decisions and end uses can go a long way toward explaining the relatively static level of sustainability efforts across industry over these past 4 to 5 years. So to read more about industrial sustainability and how it's impacting automation today, visit the URL shown here. So I hope you found this episode of Technology Matters interesting and that you'll check out these and other posts at automationworld.com. Now, if you haven't yet subscribed to our channel, please do so by clicking on the AWTV logo that you see on the bottom right-hand side of your screen. With that, I'll say we'll see you soon with the next installment of Automation World's Technology Matters.